These Hollywood trailers, classic like cars, classic like Elizabeth Taylor. Need you to romance me, I need a give and not a take. What I need is 'cause
After school professionals, please welcome Gina Warner and Jasmine Castleberry.
Hello. I said, Jasmine, can you believe they made us walk across that the whole room, the whole stage? Well, welcome everyone. What an amazing group we have here this year. You might have heard NAA convention is the place to be. And I'm excited to hashtag be here. As CEO of the National After School Association, it's my honor to welcome you and enjoy being with over 1,600 after school professionals. Yeah. This event is always truly the highlight of the year for me, and I can't wait to get to meet more of you and hear about the wonderful things that you're doing in your programs. But first, I'm excited to ask one of our new board members, Jasmine Castleberry. She's gonna give us a real Texas welcome.
Thank you, Gina. Welcome, everybody, to the great state of Texas. Yeah. I was born here in this great state, and my character was built here. In Texas, we think big. We're innovators and creatives. Texas is home to Lizzo, Tesla, Buc-ee's, if you know, you know, the Queen, Beyonce, and so many more. I want you to know that Texas is a welcoming place. Our unofficial state motto is family, faith, and football. How about them Cowboys? Wow, the hate is real, the hate is real. We are a family-friendly and faith-inspired place, accepting of all. I hope your time here in the NAA community is as big as the rest of Texas feels to me. I am honored to serve you on the NAA Board of Directors. Like many of you, I didn't know or expect that this would be my career path, but here I am. That's right. That is exciting. I started at a YMCA in Houston when I was in college, to fund my shopping habit and everything, and discovered that I was really good at working with kids. I moved around a little bit, including work at the esteemed Harlem Children's Zone in New York City. And now I'm back in Houston working for the Harris County Department of Education, Case for Kids, that's right, as a 21st Century Community Learning Center's manager, I love after school and have committed myself to helping other after school professionals bridge the gap between passion and performance. So I have a little bit of advice for those of you who are attending convention for the first time. This is a chance for you to create new friendships, and more importantly, it's a chance for you to connect people to each other. Build and curate new friendships and networks here. Slowly but surely, you'll build what I like to call a conference family. The people who will sit with you in sessions, go out to breakfast with you, and explore this beautiful city of Dallas with you in your free time. Your conference family are the core people you'll remember and stay in touch with when everything is said and done. And they'll remember you for helping to make them have a memorable and connected NAA24 convention. So thank you, Gina, for creating this space where we can all belong.
Thank you, Jasmine. That's so true. I think I heard the cheers. How many of you, it's your first time? Okay, wow. Well, welcome, especially to you all. I do hope that you'll take Jasmine's words to heart and that you will make friends and make connections. I mean, talk to that person you're sitting to in a workshop. Right off the bat, you have something in common. Out of the 20 options for that 75-minute period, you guys chose the same one. So let that spur you to a conversation and potentially a connection. And as Jasmine said, a lifelong professional colleague and friend that you'll look forward to seeing year to year. NAA has been very intentional and strategic in the past few years to really focus on our profession and focus on the issue of job quality. You're gonna probably hear that a lot, not just over these 3 days, but in our e-news and other communications that you hear from us, because it's important to us that you have the conditions and the supports that you need to excel and thrive in your work. Again, over the next 3 days at convention, we're going to talk a lot about this. We're going to talk about our work at the national level to improve job quality for everyone and how we can all together advocate for a thriving OST workforce that enables all of you as professionals in this field to deliver the high quality programs that we know lead to positive youth outcomes. The NAA convention, as we said, is an important time and space to build your network, grow your skills, and gather lots and lots of resources to take home. I peeked into the Learning Expo earlier. Y'all, it is amazing and is jam-packed with all kind of really neat new products and resources. If you haven't gone on your app yet, you know, we're so fortunate now in this digital world to be able to offer handouts and PowerPoints. So I know there's probably more workshops that you want to attend, but you can't go to everything. But with those resources online, you can actually find and access those and add them to your toolkit. To illustrate the impressive power of our workforce, we like to feature individual stories on the main stage of our convention. For those of you who are here for the first time, we believe it's the stories of after-school professionals that make the change, that make the impact. The stories that you're going to hear tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday are powerful, inspiring, and they're needed to understand the wonderful diversity that is our profession. So over the course of this convention, we have 7 very brave professionals who will share a bit of their experience in after school and offer lessons and advice that we can take home. So tonight we're going to focus on the first part of our convention theme for 2024, Be Here. We have 3 stories that are going to explore what it means to be in community together. First, we'll welcome Tyler Kearns from the great state of Missouri. Tyler's going to remind us why we need to play and have a sense of curiosity in our work. Then we welcome Nat Rosales. Don't you love how they all have their fan clubs? Yeah. Nat found a welcoming professional home with the California After School Network, where they are learning and teaching what it means to thrive in an inclusive workspace. And then we'll end tonight's stories with Tyneisha Gibbs. Hailing from New Jersey, yeah. Tyneisha has a powerful story of showing up in her work, fighting for justice, and she has the most amazing boots on, but you have to wait and see those. So please join me tonight in welcoming Tyler.
right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you can hear my voice, say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, before we get started, I want to play a little game. So I need everybody to take one finger, your pointer finger, and point it at me. Take the other hand, put your thumb up. Now when I say switch, you're gonna put your thumb down, finger out, finger in, thumb up. So the hands are just gonna switch. Ready? Switch. 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 Switch, 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 switch. All right. So I want you to think, as adults, how often do we play? How important is play in your program? To your kids, to your families, to your community. And what is a squat tutu? Some of you are probably wondering what I just said. So, everybody close your eyes. And I want you to picture in your brain, I'm going to say it again, and I want to see what picture comes up in your brain. What is a squat tutu? Now, open your eyes. Let's go ahead. Is that what you saw? Because this is my squat tutu. Squat tutu was born out of the mind of one of my kindergartners about 5 years ago. Little girl came up to me about 5:30, pulled on my shirt, and looked down and said, "Yes, Leela?" She goes, "Mr. Kearns, can we draw?" I was like, "It's 5:30. I got tables to wipe down. I got stuff to put away. I got this and this." But I said, "Sure. Let's sit down and draw." So I sat down with Leela. I said, "What do you want to draw?" She goes, "I want a lion." I was like, "Okay." So we started drawing the lion's face. About 2 minutes into that drawing, she stopped me and said, "Can I have a unicorn?" I was like, "Sure." So I slid the lion away, got a new piece of paper. She goes, "No, what are you doing?" I was like, "What? You wanted a unicorn?" She goes, "No, I want a unicorn and a lion." So we started adding the horn, started drawing the lion's body. She goes, wait. I was like, "Yes, Leela?" She's like, "Can it be a lion unicorn dancing on a rainbow wearing a pink tutu?" I said, "You got it." About 30 minutes later, squat tutu was born. Now, we didn't know where squat tutu was going to go from that point. But a couple months into it, squat tutu became our teacher mascot. From it being the teacher mascot, it became a t-shirt. From the t-shirt, it became a Halloween costume. From a picture of that Halloween costume, Leela's mom took the picture and put it on a water bottle. So squat tutu started running wild through our program. So now some of you may be thinking, that's all fun and games, but where's the learning? We're supposed to be youth educators. And this is where my friends at the Genius of Play come in. The Genius of Play was born out of the National Toy Association, and they are a group solely purpose is to educate people on play and purposeful play. So they do all the research and then spit that out for our parents, us as educators, teachers, administrators, whoever's interested in learning more about play. And in their research, they came up with the 6 benefits that our students get just by simply playing. So now I want you to look at those and think about when I sat down with Leela and created Squat Tutu, what was she learning? To me, it was creativity. That's the easy one. But as I look at that, I also see collaboration and critical thinking. That's pretty powerful for a kindergartner in 30 minutes. As a youth educator, you know what else I see? Character building, our social emotional skills, and our 6 C's of a 21st century learner. It's all there. So the next time a parent, administrator, partner says, "Oh, kids love your program. They love coming to it. All they do is play." You can say, yes, we do. But guess what? We're also learning. It's right there. To us in our program, what Squat Tutu brought was community. How did that happen? Well, let's go back to Leela. Now Leela's in 4th grade, sitting in programming last March. It was about 5:59. Leela's mom comes to the door, and Leela takes off running to the door to meet her mom. Which was weird for Leela, because she was that 6 o'clock kid that when her mom came in at 6 o'clock, she's like, Mom, I need 5 more minutes. And Leela's mom was like, no, they're closing like in 1 minute. She's like, but I just gotta finish. So for Leela to wanna leave, it seemed kind of weird to us, but she didn't wanna leave. She grabbed a bag similar to this from her mom and brought it to me and said, Mr. Kearns, you gotta open this. Now remember, it's March and it's a Christmas bag. I was like, okay, like I'll open it. She's like, no, you have to open it right now. I said, okay, Leela. So I set it down, started pulling out the tissue paper, and as I got to open it, out popped our squat tutu. So Leela's mom took that original picture and had it turned into a stuffed animal. And so now we have a full Squat Tutu program mascot. But the fun didn't stop there. One of my site leaders, Kim, and I decided we were getting ready for NAA last March, that Squat Tutu was coming with us. There was no thinking about it. And what were we gonna do with this? We were gonna create a comic book for Leela. We were gonna turn it into like a flat Stanley and have a little adventure with it. So everywhere we went, Squat Tutu went. Didn't matter if it was the beach, didn't matter if it was a restaurant, presentations, workshops. Squat Tutu lived in my backpack all through the conference. Some people started saying, I started seeing this guy with this weird baby thing, like I didn't know what that was. Like why would he have a baby in the backpack? But everywhere I went, people wanted to know the story. And as I told the story, they're like, you have to do more with this. Like this is amazing, like how do I do this? Community was starting to be built. Even presenters wanted to stop and get their picture with Squat Tutu. But it doesn't stop there. We brought the comic book back to Leela, and it just kept growing. Currently, Squat Tutu is all over our program. We play games, activities. It's on our bulletin board, right? It's a snuggle buddy for kids when they're sick or not feeling the best. Squat Tutu is here to stay. So what have I learned from Squat Tutu and Leela? Is that play is not just something that we do. Play is a creature. Play is a moment. Play is a mindset. Play is what you make it. And when you take time to say yes to play, you can have a big impact on your students, your families, and your community. So before I leave, I want everybody to remember that play is fun, but play is also learning. And I want you all to give yourself permission to take time and be playful. So thank you.
I've never really fit in. I always knew I was different, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but the people around me could. I learned to become small. I learned to become quiet. I learned I didn't really belong anywhere. And it took a very special group of people to see something in me that I never would have seen in myself. In all of my previous roles, I always felt like two tiny versions of myself in a trench coat, trying to navigate a world built for adults. I never felt like I belonged. I never felt comfortable at any of the organizations that I worked at, and I always felt like these two tiny versions of myself, usually tinier in an even larger trench coat. I joined the California After-School Network in 2020, which was a turning point in my life. The tight-knit culture of CAN slowly started to shift the way that I saw the world. I kind of felt like the Grinch when his heart grew 3 sizes. I started to feel like I knew what belonging meant, feeling like I was where I needed to be, safe, secure. I realized that I was sinking deeper into my trench coat, and instead of keeping it inside, I spoke up about it. And my team wanted to listen. The care that the team was giving me, I wasn't giving to myself. I was learning how to navigate being part of a human-centered organization. So I needed to learn who Nat was. During that exploration, I learned that I'm autistic. And I became suddenly very aware that all of the systems that I had trouble navigating, because I thought there was something wrong with me, were just not built for me. It's Monday. Did you know that 1 in 40 adults has autism? It takes an average of $5,000 to get an autism evaluation as an adult. Autism presents differently in women than in men. And a lot of autistic women grew up not even knowing that we were autistic, just that we were really shy, kind of off-putting, weird, hard to make friends with, and we're just so, wait, you seem uninterested. But my team at CAN kept asking questions. That was how every Monday started. During our team meetings, I would info dump about whatever autism research I had done over the weekend. I shared the difficulty of trying to get a diagnosis, the difficulty of reflecting on my entire life and realizing that all of the signs were there, but no one knew what those signs meant. The team was always happy to listen, even if they had no idea what I was talking about. They were just glad that I was taking up more and more time during our team meetings. They were always interested to hear about my special interests and the accommodations I needed to thrive in my workspace, how I was becoming a disability justice advocate in my work. They were helping me become a successful, disabled professional. They were helping me grow into Nat. Growth was a snowball effect, a very aggressive snowball. I was not always met with the same positivity that the CAN team showered me in the same way that I was trying to create spaces that were more accessible for myself and others. I was also met with an unimaginable amount of infantilization. The minute that I shared with others outside of my team that I'm autistic, they completely changed the way that they were acknowledging me. I was skipped over in conversations, I was coddled. I was shown that I didn't have any autonomy, even if I was representing a statewide organization. Being met with this treatment forced me to find my voice. I was voluntold for speaking events. The team pushed me out of my comfort zone when they knew I was ready. I learned to educate others on what autism is, what neurodivergence is, and how simple shifts in language and how you show up can create transformative change. I've led trainings on how accessibility isn't a plus or an and, but foundational to the work that we do. Being accessible to me is one step closer to being accessible to all. Anyone can do accessible design. In fact, we can do a little crash course now. What is accessible design? It is an intentional design process that incorporates the needs of people with disabilities. The easiest way to get started is with color contrast accessibility. Color contrast refers to making sure that text is readable for people with all different types of color blindness and visual impairment, and it's also just much healthier for your eyes, even if you feel like you don't need it. Remember, it's light text on dark backgrounds and dark text on light backgrounds. It's that simple. My experience doesn't exist in a vacuum. I think the level of vulnerability I shared with people that I had known for a year is a bit unique. But the sense of belonging and the care that I received is something that can be replicated. Instead of being met with pushback when I had to start wearing headphones at conferences, or when I needed to step away when things got too loud or overwhelming, my team simply nodded their heads and understood. They knew that if I wasn't able to take care of myself, there was no way the work was going to get done. The journey of learning who Nat is, a 20-something autistic person, has completely changed the way that I see the world and the way that CAN views accessibility. Accessibility, inclusion, belonging. These things do not exist in a vacuum. Creating a sense of belonging is not something that has to be difficult. It's as simple as asking someone how their day is, what their interests are, and showing genuine care and compassion to the people around you. Seeing the people in your organization as full, autonomous human beings with their own stories is not difficult. How can you play on your strengths, your organizations, to create lasting change for the students and families you serve, to truly be inclusive? Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Princess. Hey, NAA. Greetings, esteemed guests, colleagues, and to all of my fellow advocates for change. Thank you for having me today. My name is Tyneisha Gibbs, and I stand before you because I believe in second chances. In fact, my life has been a series of unfortunate events and life-sustaining second chances. During a time when society was not as compassionate as it is today towards the opioid epidemic, a Black woman found herself detoxing from heroin in a Middlesex County jail cell. The corrections officers ignored her as she asphyxiated on her own vomit and fell into a coma. That woman was my mother. She died when I was only 6 years old. My father, who was incarcerated at the time, they were not married, so he was denied furlough to attend her funeral. My brother stole his first car shortly after her death and quickly entered into the juvenile justice system. My family as I had known it was torn apart and stolen from me. My brother was only 14 years old, and he wasn't afforded a second chance early on, but I was. The year before my senior year, God saw fit to send into my life a woman by the name of Reverend Mayor Tassie D. York to be my second mom. It was in that instance that I knew the power and effect of second chances and what they could do in terms of saving someone's life. Have you ever made a mistake? NAA, I'm gonna ask you again. Have you ever made a mistake? Well, I was a 20-year-old, ambitious, a little bit arrogant, OST professional. And there was this one time in a staff meeting where I was wildly inappropriate, insubordinate, downright disrespectful. I might have even cussed a little, y'all. And it's funny now and I can laugh about it, but it was not funny then. In fact, I probably should have been fired in that moment. However, my supervisor, Mr. Reggie, he lovingly corrected me. Instead of meeting me with punitive measures, he met me with patience and mentorship. It's actually fitting that his makeshift office at the time was a locker room because he coached me. Despite my insubordination, he led with love. He gently pulled my coattails and he corrected me on how to properly be in the workplace. Now, I share my story with you all because had it not been for my experiences growing up, I might not be in this work. And had it not been for Mr. Reggie giving me a second chance, I might not be here in this moment. Now, I have gone on to wear many hats in the out-of-school time field. I have been a volunteer, site coordinator, program director, interim COO. And now, I am a law student at Rutgers Newark. And the director of policy and youth advocacy for NJSAC, New Jersey's after-school and out-of-school time professional network. I don't get to stand before you today poised and put together without the mentors and the opportunities that were afforded to me in this life. And so I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about some of the things that we have to do a little bit differently. We talk about work family, but sometimes our workplaces are anything but familial. We seem to get it right when it comes down to kids, but when it comes down to staff who maybe make a mistake or their conduct doesn't fit your perfect mold of what professionalism looks like, we discard them. We're throwing away our brightest stars. Now, I'm going to share with you some tips, some things that I feel have served me well, and I hope that they resonate with you as well. 1, Foster a supportive culture. What does that look like in real time? That looks like you not dismissing a young professional due to initial impressions or attitudes. That looks like pulling and encouraging each other to be professional in the workplace. That looks like gently pulling their coattails. That looks like loving correction. Number 2, invest in development. No more on-the-job training. Not for a leadership position. Invest in our young professionals. Give them professional development opportunities. Give them mentorship. Give them opportunities and space to grow by increasing their responsibilities within your organizations. And lastly, be a sponsor. A sponsor is more than a mentor. A sponsor says your name in rooms before your feet ever enter them. By sponsoring and pouring into individuals who come into our workplaces every day, you will enable them to thrive in your workplace and to ascend into leadership roles. My goodness, if you need an example, I'm living proof of that ROI. And so my charge to all of you, leaders within this room, when you leave these doors, I want you to always remember, 1, how can I be Mr. Reggie? How can I be an example? Share your stories. Share your stories with your students. Share your stories with your staff. Share your stories with your legislators. Let them know that this is after school. This is professionalism. This is what it looks like to be in this space and to occupy it as our full, authentic selves. When leaders enter your doors every summer and every fall, they bring with them who they were before they got there. So let's not dismiss their lived experiences, their current contexts, and their personal ambitions. Because you might be dismissing one of your brightest stars. You might be dismissing your Tyneisha Gibbs. Thank you.
Didn't I tell you they were brave? Let's give them all another round of applause. That was amazing. I know Jasmine leaned over to me in the middle of Tyler. She goes, "Do you ever get emotional listening to these?" I'm like, all the time. I'm probably the most biased person in this room, but I feel like what we do in putting our members on stage and giving them an opportunity to tell their stories to all of you is just something that makes this convention experience special and different from any other convention in the field. So thank you again to Tyler, to Nat, and to Tyneisha for sharing your stories. And we got 2 more days coming up. We're gonna hear from more of our members too. Another thing that makes our convention very special is our roll call of state. But before we get to that, I do want to recognize a couple of groups and individuals in the audience. And I'm going to ask when I state your organization or group that you stand if you are able. First, I kind of want to get an eye line on those first-time attendees. It was a lot, so stand up if this is your first time. Gotta see that. Whoa, y'all. All right. Wow. All right, so thank you. The fact that you are here tells us that you're investing in yourself as a professional, your organization and your team are investing in you, and so it means a lot that you're here with us. So we hope it won't be your last time. I'd like my National Board of Directors, the NAA Board of Directors, to stand. Where are they? Here they are. Yeah. Yeah, they're sitting with their states, so they can cheer, but thank you. Thank you. And then our NAA state affiliate leaders. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the work that you all did to get everybody organized, and all that fun stuff is coming. I do want to go back to our board a second and recognize 3 very special board members who will be rolling off our board of directors this year after serving each of them 6-year terms, which I shared this morning in our board meeting. I think many of you who've been in leadership roles for the last 3, 5, 6 years, it's not an underestimate to say have been some of the most challenging years as nonprofit leaders as we came through the pandemic and sought to keep our organizations going and alive and thriving. So I'd like to ask Tommy Brewer, Tasha Johnson, and Denise Williams to please stand. So thank you. So thank you. They are, again, 6 years they've been with me by my side, offering support to me and to our association, to all of you as members. So thank you again for your service. Okay, and now one of the moments we've all been waiting for. It is so powerful to see the strength and diversity of our community throughout all 50 states and beyond. So right now I want to ask a handful of our NAA state affiliate leaders to come forward and help us to conduct our roll call of states. Yeah.
Good evening, y'all. I am Patrice Holt, and I belong in the after-school profession because, as the great Texas educator Rita Pearson said, every youth deserves a champion. And I am really honored that I get to support some incredible youth development professionals who do outstanding, high-quality programming for children all over the state of Georgia.
Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Ken Anthony. I learned today I'm an OST OG. I didn't know that term until today. Now I know. I wasn't great at my first convention. I belong in the after-school profession because I can see the change we make in communities, the resilience we build through relationships, and how we as a field help children and youth belong in safe and caring environments every day.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tricia Pawlik, and I belong in the after-school profession, because I'm dedicated to strengthening programs, building partnerships, and transforming communities so that all children and youth are active, engaged, connected, and heard.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Timothy Raines. I'm a first-timer. And I belong in the after-school profession because I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Did you memorize your speech?
Now, let's see who's in the room. In alphabetical order, when we call your state, shout out and show together how we shine. Alabama. Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut,
Delaware, the District of Columbia, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois,
Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana. You go, Louisiana. Maine, Maryland. Woo!
All right, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, woo! Missouri, Montana, woo! Nebraska,
Nevada, woo! New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina,
North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and my neighbor, Rhode Island. Hey!
South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, our host state of Texas. Woo! Utah. And my home state of Vermont.
Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming, and welcome to our international guests.
I feel like we're like one step away from like t-shirt cannons or something. I mean, congratulations to those raising the game on the props. I like that. I feel like I want to yell off between Missouri and Texas. Do I want to yell off between Missouri? Okay. No. God. I mean, Imagine how they're going to be if they win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Oh my God. All right. Okay. Okay, next year. Last year, you'll recall, it was Texas and Utah. Utah, you brought it again this year. That's always, we're exciting. So I love the energy and the passion that you all bring, and thank you all of you for being here. And I hope this is just one way for you to start to feel connected to, again, the diversity of your peers and your colleagues around the country doing the same work you are doing. So I hope you find a way to connect not only people in your state, but people just in other states all around you. That's a good reminder for me to tell you. Remember, state meetups happen tonight. On your app, you'll find the time and the location. So please go. If you're not affiliated with the state that's here, go join one. You heard who some of the fun ones are and some with the props. So make that, add that to your list. Another great way that we want to build a sense of belonging and connection with all of you. So I have another quick announcement about social media. So throughout the convention, we're going to have contests and giveaways that we're going to facilitate through social media. So the contest for tomorrow is posted on the screen. So definitely engage and follow through and participate, and we will give some awards out to the winners tomorrow. So let's keep this party going. Let's go down to the Learning Expo, engage with all of our wonderful exhibitors. Many of them are first-timers also, so let's make sure they feel welcome and let them know we're excited to have them with us. They're certainly an important part of our NAA community, and we couldn't have this important convention without all of them. So I will look forward to seeing you downstairs in the Learning Expo. Thank you.